shit's in the safe. Got me a spot out the way. Nigga just tryna be safe.
Let's get to a sports talk.
So many games when you're that young?
I think when you talk about travel basketball, let's get some clarity. AAU basketball and travel basketball are two completely different entities. Kids grow up playing AAU until 5th or 6th grade, then they transition into shoe company travel basketball programs that have a different pattern or different games throughout the season and schedules. The impact is I've seen as a former head coach in Phoenix, the impact I've seen in these rookies coming in is their knees and the wear and tear of their bones and body and ankles have the wear and tear of 5 to 8 year vets. And it all stems back to the games per weekend, the lack of resources, and the lack of knowledge. And not all AAU basketball coaches are bad people. It needs to be monitored by a governing body that oversees games per day, oversees resources, and gives these parents and players knowledge.
So it's the really young.
That's why they made load management. That's why they made this to help players. Look at the young rookies come in already having knee problems, and people don't really know about them except the organization know about the player having them problems. That's why LeBron been taking care of his body as soon as he got in the league so he could be able to sustain this longevity of playing. That's why he be able to play through his 30s, because he take care of his body. And then if people gotta monitor what's going on with these players' body, like what's going on with their body when they go for alley-oops or anything, a layup, come down their knees. Just make sure what's going on with them, that their body need rest. And that's why load management is a good thing, because look now, they talking about Kawhi having knee problems right now, and that's why he been sitting out. And you see why they have load management now.
Kids you're saying, plus it's the kids who are slightly older, they're playing so many games, and the science backs up what you're saying. Baxter Holmes, our reporter here, wrote a story over the summer about the kinds of injuries they're seeing now, especially with young athletes who concentrate on one sport. But of course, those are also the athletes who rise to the top, the ones who get recruited, the ones who eventually end up playing in the NBA for the most part, although that's not always the case. What do we do about this issue now?
The NBA has already started, with USA Basketball, to start to put together kind of like a governing body, embracing and partner with travel basketball programs. And I think they're vetting to see who are the right people to, carry this out. The game of basketball has grown so big that it's almost hard to keep up. And if you haven't been a part of it, which I have been since 1988, as a player, and then eventually having my own program, which I distanced myself away from to change the game from the other side and create tournaments, you have to create a governing body that protects these kids and their families weekend per game, giving them knowledge and understand.
Yeah, just help them understand that you're going to need this rest. Because you've been playing this game since probably middle school, on through high school, on through college, on to the NBA. You need that rest in between time. Because when you come down on your knees, ankles, and everything, it causes tear in your body. You won't know it until it happens to you. That's why these players need to take rest. That's why they said we gonna do this load management thing, because we want to see these players play long enough. If they want to play well to their 30s or anything, because you already tear your body up on through. Because when you go to the paint, somebody either elbowing you, or you get fouled, or you just going up, saving the basketball, coming down your knees. It's just all types of things that your body is taking a beating on. And that's why this is a good thing what they doing in the NBA right now, is just letting players sit down. Because there's some of these rookies coming here already veined up. Some players always miss a year. Like, it's a couple players that's like that. Like Markelle Fultz. He just now healthy now, and he playing now. He had a shoulder problem. They ain't know what's going on with it. And I don't know if he had a knee problem. I'm just making an example of wear and tear on your body.
Resources. Load management isn't Kawhi Leonard saying I'm not going to play today. Load management is doctors and scientific knowledge and data saying he is not allowed to play X amount of games to preserve his talent over the contract of, the years of his contract moving forward.
And speaking of data, Mark Cuban, Mavericks owner, had this to say on the subject. He said, it's all data-driven. We're not going, okay, let's just mess with the league and our meal ticket to fans, do something just because it might be interesting. We spend so much money, not just on analytics for predictive reasons, but also for biometrics, so we know how smart we can be. The dumb thing would be to ignore the science. I'm assuming you agree with that.
I definitely agree. You don't make it to the NBA not loving basketball. And we need, as players, as a former player, we need science, we need coaches put in place to protect us from going out there and just giving it our all and sacrificing everything. Kawhi Leonard has brought us exciting basketball. He went to the East, he went to Toronto, he won a championship for the first international championship for the NBA, and he created competitive nature, causing a ripple effect of players to not team up 3 or 4.
Because he rested. He know his body was wear and tear. It was already banged up when he was in San Antonio. So when the Raptors got him, they set him down most of the season. He played some games, sit down some games. Because look what they want at the end of the year. And they won the championship because they used load management. And they know that his knees wasn't right. They know they going to need him come the playoff time and make that run and get a championship. And that's what happened. They got one.
Players on one team, but twos. And now we have this exciting era of basketball. We have to preserve basketball, and it starts with the core, with the youth basketball programs.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For highlights